Mr. Radoslav, you are a very young party. Can you say some history, how you became a political party, what you done before, and what is your specialty? Because you are the one who was working in this history park, and from there you started in politics.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to say that we never thought about creating a political party before this project that was it began in 2011 as an idea, and yet this historical park, which wants to represent the history, archaeology, and art of the Balkans in one place, so that foreign tourists that want to visit the so-called Eastern Europe that they don't understand that much and that well, they could visit it in a way as they visit Disney World, have interactions, have the opportunity to touch, to experience. So we created a large-scale, 140,000 square meter theme park, and with original materials of stone, marble, and wood, with the opportunity of people to experience history. And that way we decided to create a big magnet for the next level of tourists. Croatia is extremely famous with the amount of tourists that you have, due to the fact that promoting history, and with a lot of help from HBO and a lot of movies that have been filmed, people love to see the original places where the events happened. So Croatians can be extremely glad that the location for Game of Thrones was chosen to be there, because the revenue that's coming in from tourism is enormous. There is some downsides, there are some upsides. Now that's up to the policies that the government and the tourism ministry can set up. But for Bulgaria, one thing I can tell you is that the world doesn't really know, for example, about Spartacus. Spartacus is actually from Bulgaria. There's a city that's the homeland of Spartacus. A lot of movies have been made about Spartacus. But the problem is, if you're a foreigner and you want to come and visit Spartacus's homeland, the government hasn't set up any infrastructure for that. So if you want to learn about the history or the stories of the ancients from the Balkan region of Bulgaria, you can't do it. So we, as ordinary investors, decided to crowdfund. Now I want to really bank on the word crowdfund, without using any public resources. No European funds, no government contracts, no money from politicians, no mafia money or anything like that. Only personal funds poured into a project so large that it could attract even the highest class of tourists, which are the cultural tourists. That would be Japanese, United States tourists that really want to delve deep into that part of history, which they cannot experience or see anywhere else in the world. Now,
well, I suggest, it's my pleasure to present your history park. It'll take only a few minutes. Great, you were very important during the Roman times.
Well, the crossroad countries are always the most important, I would like to say. So we definitely have had a lot of history, a lot of empires pass through us. But the problem is, like you mentioned, Roman and late Roman, which is the Byzantine Empire, there's no remains left, because the Ottomans, when invading the Balkan Peninsula, they completely destroyed all the architecture. Most of the buildings have been reformed. So we only hear about the Byzantine Empire, but where can we see the Byzantine Empire? So the only remnants are in some of the ancient cities in Bulgaria. So what we decided to do is actually hire the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences and get consultants to give us the blueprints of the buildings from the Byzantine Empire while it was on the Balkans. And they allowed us to reconstruct and rebuild, like you saw in the video, all of these big famous reconstructed palaces and temples so that tourists can actually experience how it looked back in those times. Now, as we were doing all this, what happened is we received an attack. And we were thinking this could never happen. No business ever plans in their business plan to get a massive attack from its own government media. Back in 2019, we received a massive attack from, strangely enough, the liberal media in Bulgaria, which is connected to the Democratic parties. They claim to be democratic, but it didn't seem that way. Blaming this project to be archaic, old style, and not modern. So this scared people in the beginning so that they would not visit it in order to blame the ideologist and the person who who actually came up with the idea, Mr. Ivan Mikhailov, who is currently the leader of the Velichie party. But we did not give up back then. So the coronavirus came in 2020, so that hit the full industry of tourism. Then in 2022, the war in Ukraine hit all of the tourism from Russia and Ukraine. And 2 months after the war started, we received news that one of the largest wind turbine companies wants to build 80 experimental wind turbines that are 300 meters tall. Guess where? All around the historical park, in the Velichie municipality. Out of all places in Bulgaria, they chose exactly there. And later we understand that this is a Green Deal project for 1.2 billion euro. And we happen to be in the way of 1.2 billion euro and the people that are in power. But all the people that have invested, all the people that live in the municipality, have properties, who are farming, we have large agricultural producers that are in that area. They said, no, this will not happen. No matter what they try to do with us, we will not allow wind turbines to be built here. Not only because of the safety reasons and the health issues that come with wind turbines. Everyone can do their own personal research about that. Bulgaria has been fined by the European Commission for breaking the laws when it comes to the security and research permits that are supposed to be issued before raising such wind turbines. In fact, if you drive from Varna along the seaside up towards Romania, there's miles and miles of wind turbines, and everybody can tell you that in just 5 minutes within those wind turbines, you receive a headache. So this is something that we know already, and we said it's not going to happen in this region, because if you have wind turbines, you cannot have tourism. So that it's two industries that would clash together. But at the same time, ordinary investors like myself, I'm not from a rich family, I'm from an ordinary family. I had savings from working in college in the United States, like most Eastern Europeans go to the US for the summer. And from my savings, I decided to invest in the historical park, like thousands of other people around the country. Even foreigners, Americans also have invested in the historical park, not as institutional investors, but as ordinary investors. So this attack that came with us standing in the way of 1.2 billion euro project spawned the idea of creating a personal, for the region, political party. And that's when the Greatness political party idea came to be. Because if we don't have representation in the local city hall, there's no chance for us to protect no matter what investment we have. We received news that this large company had already did profiling on the city council members and were ready to bribe every single one of them through blackmail that they did during the profiling. We have documents and information about what that company did. The company's name is CWP Global, and they had local representatives in the region. But time was not on their side. So the local elections were in 2023, and the Velichie party won 6 out of the 13 seats, which is pretty much the majority for the small region that we were. And the whole project completely collapsed. And this was the first time a small little municipality with just a handful of people managed to tackle and kick out a 1.2 billion euro project, which is from the famous Green Deal, out of such an area. And we told them just choose another place where there aren't other investors that have already started something, because they did not come. They did not ask us for any kind of roundtable discussions. They decided to fully invade without asking anyone, bribe the city council members, and just do whatever they want. So what happened during that process, I just want to be completely honest with you. We received death threats on the phone that there will be wind turbines or there will be blood. And then we learned that this big company hired the thugs and the underground in Bulgaria to do that and to scare all the people that dared to oppose this big project. We managed to actually go beyond that, and we actually managed to push them away as well. And that's when all hell broke loose. The government started blocking all the bank accounts of Evelyn Mikhailov, of the historical park, of all the construction companies, of everyone that did business in that area, received an economic attack at the largest scale you can think of. The government, through its proxies, started threatening Evelyn Mikhailov that he will be arrested for standing in the way of their decisions. And that's when the Velichie party decided to go for national elections so that we could protect not only what we've built, but also to protect other people throughout the country. That's when the big surprise happened in June 9th. That's when the Velichie party actually entered the race and managed to win 13 seats from the first try from the national elections in 2024.
From how many?
240. Bulgaria has 240 seats.
240, you won 13, and that was in 2023.
24.
24,
So
okay.
6 months after the local elections were the national elections.
And that was a short story how you came in national policy. Let's present your Mr. Mikhailov and his way from this history park to parliament.
We are in the year 2025. All of Europe is occupied by global capitalists. All of Europe? No. A village populated by indomitable Bulgarians continues to resist the invader. It all begins with a talented young Bulgarian. He grows up as the grandson of 2 high school teachers and spends most of his childhood studying Bulgarian history on his own.
Още като малък, винаги съм искал да се върна във времена, когато България имала нужда от хора, които са готови дори да пожертват живота си.
He develops a deep love and respect for his nation. Years later, as a successful businessman, he develops the idea to turn his childhood inspiration into something truly unique. Historical Park, a monumental theme park that brings Bulgarian identity back to life in all its historic splendor. The man's name is Ivan Mikhailov. He doesn't come from a wealthy background, isn't connected to the political ruling class. He is a deeply religious man, convinced that the true reward for our earthly efforts awaits us not in this world, but in the next. In total, Mikhailov is investing around 220 million euros in a project intended to serve as a blueprint for good governance. He builds wells, bridges, and roads, creates cultural centers, churches, and business opportunities. In the village of Neo-Fitrilski, where the historical park is located, Mikhailov develops a new kind of living establishment built on entrepreneurship, ecology, and healthy living. In April 2022, the gigantic patriotic project came under fire from global capitalism. Several dozen 270-meter high wind turbines were to be built around Mikhailov's village, right in the flight path of Eastern European migratory birds. This would have meant the destruction of the nature and culture of the entire Black Sea coastal region. It would also destroy any hope of further building Mikhailov's sustainable community. Ivan had to fight back, and he went on the offensive. He founded a party and ran in the municipal elections.
Голямата изненада, ако говорим за изненади, със сигурност е Величие.
Те са много силни в така наречените подкаст предавания.
Изненадата на тези избори е партия Величие.
The party's name is Greatness, or Velichie in Bulgarian. With his successful homeland protection concept, Ivan won 6 of the 13 municipal council seats and became the dominant party in the municipality of Vetrino. Greatness also ran in the national parliamentary elections in June 2024.
Величие влиза в парламента с 10 народни представители.
35 години какви ли не шарлатани минаха през парламента, кой не влезе, кой не излъга български народ.
Ever since then, Ivan has been the bane of the corrupt elite, who have gone out of their way to fight the positive image he has among regular folk.
Лошото е, че има стотици хора, които си унищожил, защото си ги загробил с кредити. Един схемаджия, измамник, който се облече в лаз.
За първи път имаме организирана престъпна група, която си прави партия. Обикновено партиите си правят организирани престъпни групи.
Възраждане, Величие, все едно и също. проруски партии, които са против евро. Ще разбереме кой ще си има партия в парламента.
One thing became clear from the scandalous behavior of the authorities. They did not want Ivanov in parliament for obvious reasons. Yet the Greatness Party and Mikhailov never gave in. Today, this is the only political party in parliament that exposes corruption, truly cares about the ails of regular citizens, and tries to fight corruption head-on along the most important front line, that of the Bulgarian parliament. The battle is anything but easy, the PR attacks vicious. However, one thing Mikhailov knows is that giving up is not an option.